It's not going to own asbestos. The asbestos.
No, I got asbestos everywhere in that house. Tiles, floor.
God
I
damn.
think some of the curtains might be. Yeah.
So TLC, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just call me Left Eye Lopez because I got the TLC. Yeah, well, if the house ever catches on fire, we'll be fine because nothing in there will burn.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thanks, yeah, I'll be all right.
Welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. You're getting an insight to Mike's chaos and dilemmas as a homeowner. So I don't know if I recorded it, and I'll go back at the end of this, but I think one of you said bleach it. So we might just start off with like a homicide crime or just bleaching stuff.
That was before the house, but we were talking about buttholes.
Oh, well, that makes total sense. So
That's on par with whatever Mike says.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. We're a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and sometimes and often overlooked films. As always, I'm Paul. Next to me is Mike. Next to Mike is Nemo. Hey, Nemo.
Hi.
And next to me is Collin. Hi, Collin.
Hey.
So, yeah, we're back. And I do want to give a crazy shout-out that we were currently on featured on the Westword. So, Denver Westword, thank you so much for giving us a write-up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like a lot of you are listening now because of that, so welcome.
Yeah, I am super stoked about this. Thanks to Benito for writing the article, conducting an interview. We would have noted this on the last episode with Ninja Turtles, but it was already recorded at that time. This is our first recording since that interview. So if you've read the Denver Westword, check it out again, I guess. Or if you did check it out and it led you to us, thanks for listening. We are that podcast about obscure and weird films, and we want to share our weird knowledge with you and haunt you.
Yeah.
Anything else you can say about that article, Mike?
No, I look forward to hearing about your childhood in New Jersey.
You will.
Okay.
You will hear about that. Well, today we're going to be covering from 2008, Get Smart. We noted this before, and we had a little bit of a talk. What movie do we want to do to honor the passing of Alan Arkin? Unfortunately, Alan Arkin passed several weeks ago, but as noted, we record 1 or 2 episodes ahead of time. And there are other movies we will cover with him in it in the future, but we all decided on Get Smart. Collin, you were an integral part of this. Lamar voted too, and unfortunately Lamar wasn't feeling well, so he's not here today. But yeah, I saw this movie in 2008 in the theater with you, Mike, and I forgot it was a summer blockbuster.
Yeah, I like this movie.
I also like this film.
The other film in contention, I'm not going to name it in case we decide to do it. It turned out we didn't know it was a musical, and that was kind of a deal.
Oh, yeah. And then there was another film, too, that we almost did.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. Nima, I could tell you love this film.
Yeah, and
Did you?
I do. I
Yeah,
naturally like this film for specific actors in it.
Yes.
Alan Arkin, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
of course, but I mean, younger people there.
Going back to Hunky Boy Smoke Show, I don't remember if we mentioned this early on when Nemo has been on before, but The Rock is her number one. It's not just in contention for 1 or 2 or 3. It's, I feel, number 1. It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
100%.
Yeah, there we go. Boom.
My baby, my boo, all the way.
Referred to as your boo in my notes.
Yes, of course. And so, yes, when I heard about this, I was like, so y'all need someone to come and talk about this? Because I'm all about it.
All right, and Collin was here immediately. He was like, let's talk about The Rock. Let's talk about this human smoke show with a little bit of hair at this time.
It looks spray painted on.
No, that's his
Come
real-
on, Mike.
It's all his hair, okay?
Is it?
Time has changed, but he's still a gorgeous, handsome looking
No,
man.
of course, yeah.
With all the strength and charisma and that smile.
He was looking a little wiry in this movie.
Was he?
Yeah, he's not like. I mean, he's like so jacked now.
Well, have you seen the meme where it's just like The Rock's evolution, and it was
Like the fanny pack.
well, no, it was like a pebble,
Oh.
and then it was like a big rock, and then it was a boulder, and then it was just the mountain. Like that was just like that's his future. I think that came out around like Hercules when he was like 4 times the size of what he is.
Yes,
Okay.
and he's gotten bigger. And that's why people have always said, like, The Rock is the only person that can beat The Rock in any version of himself.
Sure, so he's like new Chuck Norris.
Unless you're Maxwell Smart. We all learned something today.
Yes.
Well, we
did.
know the one move that can take down the Rock. We'll talk about it later.
Well, if you didn't know this before, let's get into the premise overall. If you're not a fan of the 60s show, Maxwell Smart, a highly intellectual but bumbling spy working for the control agency, is tasked with preventing a terrorist attack from rival spy agency KAOS. I know Mike and I have talked for ages. I definitely grew up watching the 60s Get Smart. I actually have vivid memories of going to preschool and coming home, and my mom was making me little sandwiches, and I would watch, very apropos, back-to-back Get Smart right into Inspector Gadget, voiced by the same person, and pretty much the same premise, and then I'd probably watch cartoons. But yeah, I watch Get Smart all the time.
Yeah. Same. Like, the Get Smart to Inspector Gadget transition was also my childhood.
Yeah, that was like just weird advertising. Have both of you watched the cartoon, Inspector Gadget?
Inspector Gadget, sure.
Have you, Nemo?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like crazy. I mean, I watched... Yeah, the transition into it is just nuts because I watched it as a kid and then didn't really think about it for years. And I was like, the voice was so familiar and the plots were so similar and I just loved it. And this movie is no different. That, it is a bumbling agent who needs all the help from everyone else. And it's more of an action comedy than anything. And I think it works. I like this movie.
With a dash of romance.
There is a dash of romance.
Yeah. That honestly, that's my only beef with this movie.
Me too.
That there was
That there is
romance?
romance?
Yeah.
You don't like the romance?
Well, I mean, in the show, honestly, I haven't seen Get Smart the show in a long time, but I mean, I remember there being like a sexual tension and kind of like gags around a perceived romance, but I don't know that there was ever like the 86-99 romance ever in the show.
Yeah, Mike and I were talking about that as we all just watched it recently. Literally just recently, and I don't know. I feel if it was a one and done, which this movie was, even though they did plan a sequel, and we could talk about that, I'm okay with the romance just because of that. Like, this story is now done. But overall, I do agree that it didn't really need to be noted, or it could have just been the last moments of it. Like, maybe there is going to be a romance, maybe there's going to be a sequel, but
I think the way they portrayed the romance in the last scene of the movie really sucked also.
that's fair.
Well, I was going to say, like, during y'all's time, were they allowed to have those weird sexual tension thing?
What do you think we're like 80?
How old do you think we are?
You just brought up, like, I did
Back
not
in the 40s when we were...
The 60s TV show that I was not born during or alive to watch.
I was just confirming.
All right. Fair times. Yeah, the original premiered in 1965. Don Adams, Barbara Feldon, and 139 episodes. And probably I saw the majority of them, if not all of them, in my childhood. Just because it was always on. And it wasn't always just one episode. It was honestly like 2, maybe 3. And then, those are on every day. We have so many famous people in this movie, and I actually feel this is a overlooked movie. That's how I'd categorize this. That anytime I'm going to list everyone in this movie that's really notable, every time I hear one of these people, it's never really going back to Get Smart. So clearly we have Steve Carell. Everyone's going to know Steve Carell from The Office. Despicable Me, amongst a billion other movies. Anyone have a favorite Steve Carell movie or moment?
Date night.
I like Date Night.
It was really cute.
Yeah, I haven't seen Date Night in
Also,
ages.
action romance.
Yeah, Tina Fey. That's good.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Colin, any Steve Carell favorites?
Probably 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic. Mike?
No.
Mike with a firm no on that. Yeah.
I can't think of one.
Mine would definitely gravitate towards The Office. Anne Hathaway. So we got from Princess Diaries, The Dark Knight, Interstellar, The Devil Wears Prada. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And we could go... I'm trying to go a little more modern here just because he's in so many things. Clearly the Fast and Furious franchise, Moana, Jumanji, Black Adam, amongst a billion other things. Alan Arkin, probably historically most notable for Catch-22. One of my favorite roles, the father in Edward Scissorhands, Grosse Point Blank, Sunshine Cleaning, Little Miss Sunshine. Tons of films. And then we get other people as well. Bill Murray makes a cameo. Yeah.
Patrick Warburton.
Patrick Warburton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's just so many famous people in this. And anytime I hear this, it's, I don't hear this is the go-to for that actor. So if someone's like, oh, Anne Hathaway, it's not Get Smart, or Steve Carell, it's Get Smart, or The Rock, Get Smart, it's just another film. So I totally think this is an overlooked film.
Agreed. Well, and no one likes this movie based on the internet.
Is that really the review? I mean, honestly, I have not seen this movie since 2008 in its entirety, I should say. I have seen clips or maybe in passing, but
Sure.
since I've never seen it in full since we saw it in the theater.
It is not well reviewed.
Yeah. It's
But
like,
the rating isn't too low.
yeah, it's like 51% Rotten Tomatoes, 6.5 IMDb. It's,
Yeah.
right below the threshold of being like watchable for most people.
I remember something about this film that when we were rewatching it, I thought of it again. And I feel the second half of this movie is superior to the first half. Even though I love a good origin story. How did this start? What's this person's background? Give me some exposition. I love it. But for this movie, once stuff starts getting like weird, it's really fun. It's like a super fun action adventure. So it's not, as Mike didn't like some of the romance, like that kind of stops for a while. And then when they're just, two agents doing stuff, I love this film.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't dislike the romance. I just thought it was unnecessary.
Would you have liked it better if it was a buddy comedy?
Kind of. Yeah.
Like Other Guys.
Other guys is cool.
I love other guys.
Also, The Rock's in there too, just in case y'all forgot about that.
No, I will.
No, I did not forget about that.
Want to throw it out there.
Yeah. No, I didn't forget. Whoa. Coming in hot there. No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I did not forget. There's so many Rock movies we could cover.
Oh, I'm just gonna insert it in the middle of our conversation.
I mean, Colin was noting about Rampage, and I said loud and proud, my wife and I saw Rampage in the theater.
Yes.
Summer. This was a summer movie. I do not remember this being a summer movie. I know Mike and I saw it in the theater, but I just do not remember being like, this is a summer blockbuster film. I mean, not that it, succeeded clearly with what you're telling me from the online reviews, but I just don't remember this even being advertised as a summer blockbuster.
Yeah, I don't either.
Was there like a tie-in to McDonald's? Come get some fries and get some gadgets and
It was
devices.
smart water.
Yeah. Well, 2008 was huge for movies. There was Quantum of Solace. There was the last Indiana Jones. For comedies, like Pineapple. It was a huge Seth Rogen year. Zack and Mary Make a Porno, Pineapple Express.
Okay.
Wow, honestly, Mike and I saw about 4 or 5 of those movies.
You've rated Paul and I's 2008.
Yeah.
So it's not really super surprising that this wasn't the movie, but that is why it's here.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like, that list of films that you just noted was some really highs and lows, too. Like, we're throwing Indiana Jones Crystal Skulls. That probably was like a shatter to my ego. Like, that probably blacked me out for the next 3 months of watching films. Just be like it was just a process at that point. I'm like, oh, I saw films. Do you remember them? No, man.
No, man.
I saw Crystal Skulls and I saw an alien face, and here we are in 2023 now doing Get Smart again.
I bought a bottle of Crystal Skull vodka because of that.
You still have that, the Crystal Skull?
No.
I mean, I totally understand,
Yeah,
but,
I don't.
but it was with you for so long.
I know. I've moved so many times since then. That vodka sucked, too. Sorry, Dan. Dan Aykroyd, it was his vodka.
It was. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that vodka kind of sucked. That was not for me. That was a big disappointment. Do they even make that anymore?
Probably.
And if they don't, now it's probably worth like $100,000.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we got to get into this, and we're starting off with basically not a lot. Not a lot's going on in this beginning. There's some ABBA. Nemo was really proud that there was ABBA to start this off.
Yes, I mean, soundtrack's great, and so who doesn't like ABBA to really bring in the joy? And so I think with any origin story, that's where you kind of see his sensitive side of like, oh, he's a caring guy who's very smart and socially awkward. Aww. Again, never saw the show. I was going to say cartoon, but the show.
You saw Inspector Gadget.
Yeah,
it was
same thing.
Honestly, like the spiritual successor of it.
What's your favorite ABBA song?
Voulez-vous.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of course. Y'all's ABBA favorite song?
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Great song.
I Gotta Have a Man After Midnight.
Paul?
I do not have a favorite episode.
We can move on.
I think Colin's texted me under the table, like asking for exits and exit strategies at this
Push
point.
forward.
You can't get out, the doors are locked.
Yeah, no, I think that music just kind of led to that origin story, which is great. And then what I saw that was like very typical of it is like the fat suit, like he was a fat guy, now he's a skinny guy kind of thing. And I'm like, oh,
The thread throughout the movie.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I do as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of comical moments where Steve Carell's character that we find out throughout the film was extremely overweight, and through dedication and through a regimented diet, he is now in shape and wants to become an agent, which is part of the what we're seeing at the beginning. And he has not the analytics, but there's like the analysis crew. He has a couple friends, and they, run things and diagnostics on tech and various other things and create things. And they're helping him, who basically analyzes phone data, conversations, and various other things. And everyone else in the agency kind of treats Steve Carell like shit. I mean, the chief seems nice, Alan Arkin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, The Rock likes him too, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Agent 23,
Yes.
The Rock.
He's called Maxi Pad. We have to remember all the nicknames.
Oh, yeah. So
Maxi Pad.
yeah, when he gets... So we have the montage of him, like, waking up, getting up early, getting his shit together. He's, like, a very regimented person. And he goes to Control Headquarters, which is underneath of a museum that is dedicated to the show Get Smart, apparently.
Yeah, which is very bizarre.
Well, I think it's like it's like a history of spying museum. Mm-hmm. So they have, like, the shoe phone and the Sunbeam Tiger.
I've been to the FBI museum in DC. It's super awesome. And
Do they have a shoe phone?
Well, they had things like that. I remember one thing was a microphone they were able to hide into a quarter.
Okay.
Like the coin, and how they used it, and there was the history of that, and like radio walkie-talkie gear. Like there was like some really cool stuff. So, I mean, the shoe phone clearly more for this show,
Right,
and very
it's a Get
iconic
Smart
for this.
staple, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if that would have existed, it would have been there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where Control's headquarters is, underneath this museum. And when he gets down there, yeah, immediately it's Terry Crews and what's his name? Kirshner?
Yeah, is it David Kirshner?
Cockner? Yeah.
David Cockner.
I got the David part right.
Isn't he like the fat topless comedian?
No.
No, that's Bert Kreischer.
That's a different
Guy. Okay.
Also came out with a movie that's also Russianish.
Yeah, it's got Luke Skywalker in it, and I kind of want to see it.
This
Mechanic?
dude was...
No, the machine.
Machine,
That's right.
Machine, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
This dude was Champ in Anchorman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's,
okay.
he's also in the Goldbergs. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I like this guy, but I like Terry Crews more.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot Terry Crews was in this movie at all until we started watching
Yeah.
this. Or until I looked it up the other day. I was like, oh my God, Terry Crews is in this.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're clowning on him because they're agents and he's just an analyst. But he does have some backup. It's his two nerd friends. I don't know the white guy, but isn't that like Hero from, or the Asian guy from Heroes?
Yeah, the time traveler guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is in this movie or in Hero. But yeah, they're like his bros.
And yeah, as you noted, The Rock really likes him because the analysis he does on conversations has really helped The Rock. The Rock is the heavy. Steve Carell provides all this information, which it bores the hell out of everyone with 400-page dossiers plus. They don't want to hear it, but The Rock seems genuinely enthused, and he's a really cool dude. He's just imagine like the coolest guy you could ever hang around with, and that's Steve Carell's friend because The Rock really likes him. And there's other scenes where they're paintballing together, and they're like besties.
I think that's when they're training together. They're not paintballing. I think that's like part of like their training, just to see if he can continue the training to be in the field.
Agent test.
The field test.
But he still chose to be on his team. And I think that speaks volumes.
Your buddies.
It does.
Yeah.
That's The Rock you know and love.
And that's when you get to see all his action moves of like really giving it to the other guys, trying to protect Steve, which was very sweetheart of him.
Yeah, because Steve's trying to be an agent.
Yeah.
And The Rock Nemo's boo is on is on Max's team.
Is it booze on parade? You tell me.
Yes.
Well, Yeah, and Max aces everything. He published some weird essay. I like that. Was it the part fill in the blank about existentialism? He left a blank. He's like, I left a blank. He's like, the chief loves it. But the chief notes, I'm really proud of you, but I need you where you are. And he's arguing that Max is really a genius in his field, that it's a niche area, and he really does well examining all these words and all these documents, and he really gets to make a psychological makeup on all the villains that he's been tracking down, and it's been extraordinarily helpful. But the chief says, that's it. Like, we don't really need anyone else, and you just have to stay there. You're too good at your job.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I think Steve Carell says that, right? He's like, so you're not giving me a promotion because I'm too good at my job?
Yeah, that's kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
And he goes on a walk to kind of vent, I guess.
Sees a puppy.
He does see a puppy, but he also gets run into by Anne Hathaway, who's sprinting down a sidewalk for some reason.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Sprinting towards that puppy.
Yeah.
The puppy had a name. I think it was Fang.
I think it was Fang. Yeah. Well, because Fang comes back at the end.
Yeah.
Fang makes another appearance.
That's right.
And then, yeah, but we have like the meet cute between Max and 99, or the cute meet, I guess, is we were referring to it as.
Either or.
Yeah.
We're versatile.
Yeah, we are.
Sometimes it depends on how many drinks you may or may not have sipped along the way to start new trends and new words. What's your problem?
You know what? I'm sipping on tequila right now. The Rock, sorry, Nemo's Boo. You have tequila. You have your own brand.
It's Terramana.
Is it good? Have you had it?
Of course I have. It is delicious for someone who hates tequila.
Does it taste
Glowing
like the
review.
Rock?
Yeah, does it taste like The Rock?
I
Or do you pretend it tastes
I would
like The
love
Rock?
to compare.
Okay.
Just really have a good scientific, method of having him there and licking
Right.
him. But until then,
Well, Jeremy wanted Sharon Stone to join us for a follow-up. Maybe we could get Sharon Stone in The Rock. It seems just like a feasible thing to do.
That's fine.
Just have like a geological episode.
Yeah, I mean the Rock. You could have been promoting this the whole time. You could have been,
That
those
was
ad-
solid.
wow,
That was solid.
That was good.
The Rock could have been promoting with those ad dollars the tequila that Mike has been having. We should just really note that if you are listening, I would like to get a hold of some of the local breweries and distilleries. That if you want to send us something, I would totally review it. And I'm not saying like money is exchanged, that I want a sample of what's going on. There's a million breweries and distilleries. I would gladly take a 6-pack, take a small bottle of something, and split it amongst everyone in this room. So boom, if you're a Colorado listener, I think everyone in this room would try something.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
try whatever.
Dude, whoa.
I think Paul finally has a sound clip that we can add.
Mike's Dropbox is getting full here, which is a statement of fact and another sound clip.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know where we're at.
No one does.
I'm kerfluffled. Oh,
Yeah.
he goes back to the control headquarters.
Yeah, and it's fucked up. You were gonna say something.
Oh no, I was
No,
gonna
you
say,
weren't. Okay.
No, well, I was just gonna say you said Agent 99. We didn't know that she was Agent 99.
No,
It was
I'm
just a
sorry,
random-
we didn't.
We're gonna
Yeah.
find out now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess in the movie we don't know, but it wasn't like hidden in the previews or like you knew that she was Agent 99.
Well, we're really gonna find that out when she's like, "Whoa," and he's like, "Whoa," and she's like, "Hey, I'm Agent 99."
He kind of comes in all hot. He's like, I gotta take charge of this.
Is he hot and bothered?
He's hot and bothered.
Is it that puppy? Is it his first run-in with Anne Hathaway?
It's both, yeah.
I like Anne Hathaway in this role. I haven't seen Anne Hathaway in a bunch of stuff, but I am very, very team Princess Diaries type Anne Hathaway. I think when you throw Anne Hathaway in a more comical situation, I think she flourishes. We were looking up a lot of the stuff that she's been in, and the one that kept eluding me, and then I saw it, I was like, oh, there's something recent that I really liked her in. She was in the redo of The Witches by Roald Dahl, and I thought she was awesome. I thought she was
that was
absolutely
really good.
awesome in it. So, yeah, and that was fun. It was dark fun, but this is, comical action fun. And then Princess Diaries is clearly like, teenager fun. I just feel that that's where she needs to be. I did not care for her as Catwoman in Christopher Nolan's trilogy. I I just think it's just she's way better in these kind of roles.
Yeah.
And we brought her up about, like, with Interstellar and stuff like that. And then she was in Les Mis. She sang, and she looks completely different in Les Mis than how she does now.
Was she good in it?
I thought she had a great voice.
She does have a
Yeah.
good voice.
Yeah.
Think I will never see that film.
No.
You read the book, right?
No. And I'm not the biggest fan of musicals. I think we've talked about this. I think Mike is not a big fan of musicals as well.
Mike is not a big fan of musicals.
Believe it or not, the book is not a musical.
It is in my mind.
It depends on which breweries and distilleries contact us and how much we have, because sooner or later, everything becomes a musical.
It is like a 3-hour movie.
That is
y'all.
not selling me. We were visiting my wife's family in Detroit, and this is years ago, and The Sound of Music was on. And I was already like, here we go. With commercials, The Sound of Music, I swear to God, is like a 4 to 5 hour epic. There were moments I'm like, oh my God, it's still going on. It was all in the background. Like, people clearly would have changed it. My wife's family is super nice. But all of us were just like, oh my God, it's still going? Yeah, the commercials added another 45 minutes to this already like 3.5 hour movie. It was crazy. I was not feeling... The hills were not alive, my friend.
My biggest problem with Les Mis was Russell Crowe.
Oh, yeah.
Was it time to be a going?
Well, whoever sang the Tuggy song is a better singer than Russell Crowe is.
Yikes.
Like, I don't dislike Russell Crowe as an actor, but holy fuck.
I mean, I wouldn't say that on air because he's going to come over here. He's going to beat the piss out of you.
He's going to hit me with a phone. Or who was it? Batman that hit people with a phone?
Christian Bale,
Yeah.
I think he just yelled at people.
Did he just yell at people? It was Russell Crowe with the phone. Okay. I don't want to get hit by a phone.
Well, yikes. I don't...
Can we record it if that
got
does
derailed
happen?
quickly.
So Anne Hathaway.
anyway. Okay, yeah. Let's get this back. Someone get this back on
She's
track.
fighting Russell Crowe. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway, we talked about. Okay, so now we bump into her and him in Control that got really messed up. Don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Also, she's looking hot in that black
Oh,
dress.
she's smoking in this movie.
Oh,
And
she later has that white leather jacket that is just awesome.
Yeah, that's a dope jacket.
Yeah.
I also have a complaint about, besides this black dress that she has on, which she looks good in, also great gun, all that good jazz, great hair, perfect action outfit for a female character. I can't stand it when they have white stuff when they're doing action stuff, because then it gets dirty. Hate that. And that's all she wore, was white trench coat.
But her stuff really never got dirty.
Except for that train.
Well, that's the only time. That's the Hollywood magic.
The one time. Everything else is great.
Listen, when you buy a $25,000 dress, it's not going to get dirty, you know? Unless you're on a train. That is part of the tagline when they sold it to you. Like, there is kind of, that voids the warranty.
Got it. But yeah, so they bump into each other.
Yeah, they're in control, and so he's trying to take control of this. They see like some soldiers coming in. That he thinks they're bad guys, so he's gonna fire hose them.
Mike, did you realize while there was like, but who are you? But who you are me? But control. Then Steve Carell flips the script and it has some muffin talk. Did you notice that?
Yes, I wrote this down.
How's your muffin?
Yeah,
Yeah, wasn't that to divert her somehow? Like, let's just talk about her day. It was like a comical switch up. Like, how's your coffee? I'm drinking decaf. Or was that when
That
he
was way
That was
earlier.
way, yeah, that was when...
the muffin talk was when he was doing his rundown of
it was a lot before it. Damn it.
because there's more carbs than you'd think.
That's right.
It was setting up how good of an analyst he was
Yeah.
because he was giving this super boring presentation. His dossier was 400, 600 pages, whatever, and he had the really cheesy line of, better buckle in because the next 100 pages is going to be very dry.
That's right. This is sorry. That was way before we go back to Control and it's just a disaster. Somewhere I was just sorry, everyone. I was so excited.
You wanted to talk about the muffin.
Man, Mike was getting deep into muffin talks. Blueberries, raspberries, flax seeds. I don't know what was going on. But I'm going to tell you what's not going on in Mike's mouth. Carob chips. If you want to ever trigger Mike, talk to him about carob.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why we're talking about this, but he's absolutely right. Carob chips fucking suck.
I know my co-host.
Yeah.
Talk to him about Carell. We once ate something that like legitimately had chocolate chips, dairy, milk, cream, and there was the note of carob in it. And Mike was like, "What the hell is this shit?" Like fully enraged. Like, this doesn't belong here.
It doesn't.
And he was right. It did not belong there for any reason. I don't remember what ice cream it was, but that was bullshit. They tried to sneak carob in. Come on.
How fucking dare you?
But I think when you're talking about the whole breakfast talk, that's when we know that he can actually understand different languages.
Yes.
Which
Yeah,
runs into more of the other scenes that he starts
that is
just
important to
listening.
note for later, for sure.
A big sell for me on Steve Carell's character in this film, much like the original Get Smart, but a more updated version, is he's, although I read the IMDb summary that he's a bumbling idiot, he actually is not. He's just not the best field agent. Like, he's not the most physical. I mean, again, that's the comparison. He's up against The Rock. But honestly, Steve Carell's character is kind of a genius. As Nemo's noting, knows many, many languages, really psychologically in tune with people, and is able to use this to his advantage all throughout. Well read, well written. He's like everything outside of the physical, and he is good with like a firearm, and he knows how to use all the gadgets, just more in theory rather than practice. So I like it because if he came off as quote unquote that bumbling like buffoon or whatever, this movie would be so slapstick all the time, it would get old very quickly. And when the movie kind of cycles through those slapstick moments, like sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It is. I feel it's like a way to like add a breath of fresh air to it, and then it's funny again. Colin, weren't you loving like the dart scene like earlier?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, so Don Adams, Agent 86, is a bumbling idiot, but I think it translates better to like a 20-minute TV show.
Yes,
like you can't just have a whole movie on that. But yeah, the scenes where he is bumbling, the dart scene, that gets me every time.
Yeah. I think it's definitely better that he is very competent in a bunch of different ways. Otherwise, this would just be like a Pink Panther rehash.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually a really good comparison because, the original Pink Panther, like, he is a good detective, but he's kind of a moron. Where in the remake, like, he's just an idiot.
Somewhere in this, we see that clearly the Chief is alive. Agent 23, The Rock, is alive. The inventor group that Steve Carell works with, everyone's alive there. But pretty much everyone is dead. And they come up with a plan. And I can't remember why this happens, but Steve Carell goes to Bill Murray, and Bill Murray is a tree. Yeah,
so what's happening, like, they kind of reconvene in the broken down headquarters, and they realize that everyone, who's okay and who's not. And they go to, like, the secret backup headquarters. And the way in there is that Bill Murray has to let you in, and he's hiding in a tree.
Agent 13.
Agent 13. And Bill Murray is in this movie. This is a sad misuse of Bill Murray. He's in this movie for 18 seconds. I mean, he has a couple funny lines, but...
Maybe it was just like a Zombieland situation where it's just like, dude, do you want to be in this movie? He's like, I'm free for this one day if you want to film.
Maybe he was a big Get Smart fan.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, this whole cast seems like a lot of fun to work with.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, everything seems super jovial and fun.
This did come off as a movie that everyone was really enjoying themselves making, which is nice. But yeah, so he lets him into like the secret backup layer, which is underneath the reflecting pool in Washington D.C. I think.
Yeah.
I love the idea that there's just some duck in the reflecting pool. It's always there.
Just the one duck.
He walked on the pool, touched a duck, and it opened the passageway, and it has to always be there.
We get one of the most iconic outside of the shoe phone gadgets of Get Smart. And upon everyone entering, they're at this table, and Steve Carell says he wants to use the cone of silence. And in Get Smart, the cone of silence is you could talk to one another and no one else could hear you. And in this, the inventors don't have it down to a science quite yet, where the inventor side of the group, they start the cone of silence, but everyone has their own individual cones, so no one could hear one another, and it just turns out to be everyone yelling at each other,
Right.
and Steve Carell admitting things he's done to the chief.
Well, in this show, it doesn't work either. Like they do it almost every episode, and it never.
Yeah, there was like maybe moments that I could
Yeah.
ever remember, but it was like just like the worst gadget
Right.
with a good idea, I guess.
But yeah, so cone of silence aside, now we understand what happened. Like KAOS. Well, I don't think we've mentioned KAOS. They're like the evil actors in this movie. They're like like Spectre and James Bond. And they raided the place, and now they know the identity of all of Control's field agents.
Except for Agent 99.
Correct, because she had reconstructive surgery at her face, so no one knows what she looks like.
Yes, and they promote Steve Carell, Agent Maxwell Smart, to a field agent.
Well, it's about goddamn time he passed the test.
And he quickly grabs the cone of silence, and he's like, I did it! Yeah, woo! We did it! And everyone's looking at him like a huge jackass. He's like, yeah, I finally did it! And they quickly tell him he did not hit the button hard enough, so everyone heard every word of that.
Yeah.
I do like that this quickly is establishing Anne Hathaway's distrust of him. And that really is, like the crux of the situation, that they're both teamed up together and she feels very qualified in what she's doing, very similar to The Rock, and doesn't need this jackass tagging along, but quickly learns that he knows more about this agency than pretty much anyone else on the history of the planet, which is handy.
Yeah. Well, you say quickly. It does take a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, it's his knowledge that kind of helps. And,
Yeah.
and I think that's where you see, like, they switch over to the scene on the plane, right? When on the plane.
So they have to go to Moscow.
Yep. And with us, and I think he's already been looking or like having the background investigation on these people already, so he already knew the stuff, and he's like, no one read my report? It's like, no.
Yeah, he's very upset that no one read his dossier. But yeah, so the plan is, what they've discovered is there's a gentleman named, and I'm going to butcher it, but also the pronunciation is a gag in the movie. It's like Vladimir Krispix.
Criskit.
Chris
Kringle fish stick. Chris stick.
Kringle fish sticks, yeah. But he's like a Russian bomb guy. And so they have to go to Russia.
Yeah, as Colin's saying that, like, that was Steve Carell's such butchering of the name. Mm-hmm. I love The Office. And The Office, if anyone ever watches Peacock, they have the extended versions. And before, when I would see those extended versions or clips on DVDs, a lot of times it was just given, everyone in the cast was just given free reign. And some of the stuff that Steve Carell says is so funny that they've integrated some of it back. I have to assume a lot of that was happening on the set here, that things were said off script and they're like, that is way better, just totally keep it in.
I assume a good portion of Steve Carell's lines were ad-libbed in this movie.
Which is fun.
Also, how do we feel about a Kris Kringle's Fish Sticks t-shirt?
I would love it.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I should maybe like write that down.
Okay.
So then we're on the plane, and this is where I noted that we see our next WWE star, the great Khali, because I'm like, I know him.
Yeah.
As someone who used to watch wrestling and kind of do now.
I know. I was hoping you and Lamar would nerd out with some wrestling lore.
And so, yeah, because this humongous 7'1" Indian man hops on, and, that's where we see Anne Hathaway and Steve kind of chatter about, like, who's suspicious and stuff like that. Of course, it's Steve who ends up getting tackled by the marshal because he's doing something stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, this really highlights, especially around 2008, like very, very intense fear about flying and various other things. This reminds me of like Meet the Fockers or Meet the Parents, where it's like bomb, bomb, bomb. Well, you can't say bomb on a plane. Like, I don't have one. Like, you can't say that. It's like, why not? Bobbity bombity bomb. And he's like, he's immediately arrested. This is Steve Carell, where he's like, oh, I got gum on my shoe, but I have some matches. I'm going to take it off. I think some rando in the back is like, he's got a shoe bomb. And he is immediately restrained by the air marshal and put in those like Ziploc cuffs. And there is a plan on how to get off the plane preemptively. This is noted that we were finding out now that one by one, Steve Carell and then Agent 99 Anne Hathaway will use the restroom, but they will be jettisoned out through a trap door. And they have parachutes. Well, Steve Carell goes to the bathroom, but I'll have Collin explain this situation, or Mike.
I think Mike's the one to do it.
But my favorite part is Steve Carell notifies the air marshal that he needs to use the bathroom, and very seriously he's like, I need to squeeze the lemon. And I don't know why that got me. Because even the air marshal's like, what?
Yeah, like, dude, gross.
I need to squeeze the lemon. And then they show like everyone sitting on the plane. They're like, oh, come on, man. And they let him in the bathroom. But yeah, it was a very weird turn.
But there's nothing dirty about it. Like, there's actually nothing dirty. But it's just
genius.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you saying? That's like... It sounds gross, but it's nothing bad.
Right, and everyone's just like, let this weirdo just use the word. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, shut him up.
Along the lines of the All-Star cast, the air marshal was Bill Romanowski,
Oh.
who's a famous football player. I guess you guys are a bunch of fucking nerds.
I was about to look at Mike and be like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
like-
don't look at me. I don't know.
Oh, we had the conversation about sports or lack of sports in this group.
How dare you? We watched Wildcats and seen other films that allude to sports and athletic abilities.
Yeah, how did that go?
It went well.
Yeah.
You know who a huge fan of sports movies is, which is a big surprise to me? My wife. The more we watch sports movies, she's like, I love them. But I totally realize what's happening. My wife is not a sports fan, but wants to know everyone's like cherry-picked sweet backstories. And then is like, cool, now I know you succeeded. Thank God I didn't watch the 450 hours of games that led me here. So it totally makes sense. I'm like, yeah, sports movies are dope. Like, it's the highlight reel. It's the ups and downs, not, again, the 500 hours put into a season. Which is Mike's favorite thing with sports.
God, yeah, I love watching a game that lasts 5 hours and is so boring. I like it when they stop playing sports for like 20 minutes to have commercials.
So yes, you're the only one that picked that up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Re-emphasizing that.
Thank God.
I was like, I know those shoulders.
that was what tipped you off.
It was it because he tackled him, and you're like, I've seen that before.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Okay.
And now we know.
Well, Steve Carell is in the bathroom with one of the gadgets, a Swiss Army knife that was given to him, and it goes terribly, terribly wrong.
It does, yeah. So there's like parachutes hidden behind the mirror, and he figures that out. But he's still like, his hands are zip tied. So he takes his pocket knife out, and the option that he chooses is the crossbow.
The mini crossbow.
The mini crossbow. Yeah, no, it's a Swiss Army crossbow.
Yeah.
And I would have just maybe gone with the knife, but he's trying to crossbow the zip ties off of his hands.
Yep.
And I love this scene so much. I don't know why, but this physical comedy just gets me. So he basically ends up shooting himself in the face 17 times with this crossbow, which is amazing for me. But the last time the button, like the I have the parachute on, I need to get out button, is in the fire alarm or the smoke detector, and he accidentally shoots that, and he just gets yeeted out of the airplane.
He goes right out.
Yeah, and ironically, the minute he falls out of the airplane, his handcuffs come off.
Well, thank God.
I think
Yeah.
No,
he successfely
Yeah,
launched.
he successfully.
Did he?
Yeah, that was the last
Oh,
one.
okay.
And then
I
it
didn't see that.
ricochet and
Okay.
touched the red button. I'm like, ah, shit.
Isn't there is government training how to break out of zip ties? I've actually seen demonstrations of
This
this.
is like YouTube training.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's FBI, CIA.
Yeah.
He's control.
That's
They-
true. Yeah. Well, he's out, and Anne Hathaway is immediately in that bathroom. You could tell the pilots are in it, like, package 1 is left. And then Anne Hathaway properly sees what's happening and properly gears up with a parachute and various other things. She leaves. Package 2 is out. And quickly, the wrestler goes to the bathroom as well. And the pilots say, package 3 is out. And they look at each other. And no one says anything. That was kind of weird. Maybe they want to radio someone about that.
The co-pilot had the brief. Wait, number 3?
Yeah.
He did. He totally had one.
I think we want to follow up on that in some way.
Yeah, I think this whole next scene is Anne Hathaway's fault.
Yeah, she
She
comes.
didn't know any better.
She comes to save Steve Carell. He's just screaming. I like the scene of Steve Carell. It looks like
Good, you heard me.
Yeah, it looks like someone threw him out of a plane, and he's screaming. And yeah, he goes, "Oh, good, you heard me." And yeah, she quickly grapples him. It's a very Point Break moment where you're gonna hold on to me, and we're gonna grab this parachute. The wrestler has a parachute too. Thank God. He's coming at them like a speeding bullet.
He had Agent 86.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then he's grabbing all of them. And there is an integral moment where, to break away, Anne Hathaway kisses him right on the face. And he's so weirded out by this that she quickly punches him and kicks him away almost simultaneously. She's able to launch the parachute. And he goes down hard, like really quickly before going into a barn, launches a parachute that probably snags him quickly. And then he lands on what looks like a 300-pound pig.
Poor piggy.
Hey, that piggy lived.
Well,
And then was yeeted.
yeah, he lived through the first part. Who knows about the eating?
A lot. Yeah.
But I have to say, like, prior to her trying to kiss him, there was a lot of kicking in the groin that didn't happen.
Oh, right for the groin.
Yeah. Both of them were just kicking him. It's like nothing's happening. And then it's like, okay, time to just...
And Max says, that would have worked on me.
She did it with the heels.
Yeah.
It was her heels to his nuts.
Well,
and nothing happened.
He's a big guy.
He is, yeah.
There's a generous clang.
That pig does get thrown right out, and we realize that guy is still alive.
Yeah,
we
he's
get
all right.
we get a cut back to headquarters, or at least the makeshift headquarters, and there's a lot of debate and what to do next, and there's a lot of animosity going on. So a couple of the crew members, including Terry Crews, they see The Rock. The Rock is now no longer a field agent because he can't go out. People will recognize him, so he has to do the work that Max was doing and other people.
And he hates it.
Oh, yeah. So he staples some things to another guy's head. And this is what Alan Arkin goes, whoa. We do not, put people here and jam staples in other people's heads. That's CIA crap. I don't fully know what that means, but in a way, I do know what that means.
He did deserve it. He left the copier jammed, which if you've worked in an office situation is super annoying.
Yeah, I totally messed up stapler functions once at a job that I was at in the Xerox machine. I told someone, and they couldn't fix it either. It was like, you need to replace the staples. Like, it was like beeping and showing me things, but like the thing itself, like the cartridge to put in wouldn't work. I did not break it. I just confirmed that with others that it was already broken, but people were pissed off.
It's no way to be.
No, that was a Xerox machine. This is 2008. Yeah. Get back in your time machine, dinosaurs. Take that.
But so yeah, they're in Russia now, right?
Yep.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
in Russia, and now they're
Comrade.
and now they're on like the roof looking through. Wait, no, are they in the bar right now?
Yeah, they go to a restaurant
Yeah,
first.
they go to the bar, and then he picked the bar, and this is where I would love to hear y'all have that Russian conversation that they had.
What do you think, Sk?
God damn it!
Bam!
Someone had to get it. Yeah,
So it essentially he picks the bar because he knows the knowledge of like, oh, this is where it is, and
yeah, he knows people hang out here.
yeah, and he was like, for it to sound Russian, you add an insk behind things, and it will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ended up adding insk to her stuff, and I'm like, someone needs to do this because I cannot do it without like sounding weird.
I don't remember what she said, but it was very funny.
Something about carbs and being skinny insk. Because she was putting butter on the bread.
She was eating the
Yeah,
bread
and she was
stick.
like, yeah.
Mike, going back to a previous movie, who butters your biscuit?
I prefer jam.
Who jams your biscuit? Are they jamming your biscuit right up?
Eddie Griffin jams my biscuit.
Right up?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Jeez.
I want to butter your bread.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I don't even...
Yeah, no, okay.
Y'all just went off after I was talking about butter and bread.
Yeah, no, well, it happens.
We had flashbacks.
We love carbs here.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so they're, he excuses himself to go to the bathroom, and he sees people that he believes might be the terrorists. And there's some pee gag that happens, but his fancy Geiger counter watch starts going off. So he's thinking like, okay, these guys have been around some radioactive material, and he pieces together that they're the bomb makers.
And then he's soon outside, and he sees some more Russian baddies, and he's like, I'm going to shoot this dart. You don't have darts? Ha ha ha. And this is kind of an ongoing gag throughout the film.
That he has better like spy shit than she does.
Yeah, that he knows how to use it. They gave him super cool stuff. She's not in the know. Like, oh, you might know martial arts, and you might know these other things, but like I know gadgets, and I know this agency better. He's like, aha, I'm going to shoot this dart, and he actually accidentally swallows it, and immediately wakes up on the floor of a coat room in maybe a hotel.
Yeah, they're like in the wine cellar of a mansion or something.
And all of a sudden he's wearing a tux and she's wearing a dress and a wig. Mm-hmm. I like that he's like, am I wearing boxers now? And he does make up a good point that he should not have been wearing boxers for this kind of mission. Briefs only.
Of course, she saved the day because he messed up in trying to tranquilize somebody, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so she had to go with plan B, and now they are undercover at this gala ball of this guy.
This dance scene is actually one of my favorite parts.
This is amazing, yeah.
So basically, they go in separately, and they're flirting and kind of with other people, and Agent 99 is really trying to piss off Steve Carell. So they basically get into a dance-off in all of this.
Well, the person she's dancing with, I believe,
is a criminal. Yeah, she is investigating.
Yeah, he is who they thought was kind of the mastermind of this.
Yeah, but he is not.
Crispix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Crispix.
Santa Claus fish sticks.
No. Don't make me say it.
Wait, do I have it written down? What is it? Kris Kringle fish sticks?
Kris Kringle fish sticks. Chris sticks.
Chris sticks. Damn it. I'm going to write down
No,
Chris sticks.
not Chris sticks. Christic.
Christic. Crispix stays crunchy even in milk.
You messed me up.
Christmas?
Damn it. Kris Kringle fish sticks.
No, fish stick. Chris stick.
There's only the one. He only has the one stick.
Solo fish stick.
Okay, fish stick. Wow.
Do we need to get Kanye in here?
That one goes out to you, Conway. And I didn't even say it right.
Conway? Conway Twitty?
That's how much I was thrown off. South Park.
Yeah, but Anne Hathaway is dancing with Crispix and
Sure.
Fish stick.
fish stick.
I know it's singular now. Fish stick.
Do you like fish sticks?
Here, gay fish.
That's not real fish.
Probably some of it, right?
No, I don't know.
What is it?
Not real. I would not eat fish sticks.
With how about
We heard
this?
it here first.
Imagine this. Imagine amongst our laughter. Mm-hmm. I quickly insert. Nemo, you're right. Well, with enough local breweries and spirits at our disposal, any fish stick could be a gourmet dinner, thanks to blank beverage. So insert here. Take that, world. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at you, New Belgium, in your sampler pack.
Let's pause for an ad break. And we're back.
That was some good fish stick. Singular. Yeah, there's this amazing dance scene, and Steve Carell is paired up with like a woman, I would say, honestly, like 3 times his size. And I'm not saying that to be mean. Like, this is the scene. And he dances with her and just effing kills it on the dance floor. People are amazed. The woman he's dancing with, her facial expressions, that's why it's my favorite. She is telling everyone in the audience, go to hell. Steve Carell dances with her. She eventually jumps into his arms and he holds a position at the end. My favorite moment is like all the like thin, attractive women, they're looking at her and she just flips all of them off and walks off as everyone's clapping.
Because he offered to dance with everyone else first.
Yeah.
And they were all like, no.
And and I think the reason why he ended up choosing her or like asking her and being comfortable with it was just like, I know how it feels. I was
totally.
He brought it up. I was like, I was fat. I get it. I know how to handle this.
That's why I love it that these two people immediately start dancing. There's this connection and they are killing it. and all the doubters get the bird at the end, and everyone else is clapping for him. I was like, honestly, this is my favorite scene of the film.
I know it was kind of a cheap laugh, but the line where he's like, "I just recently lost 150 pounds," and she's like, "Me too."
Yeah, I mean, this scene is great. And then clearly there's admiration. I really like Agent 99's comeback to this, and it's nothing but admiration. She claps at the end. Her partner, the criminal, Crispix, Fish Stick, he's super pissed off that he lost this dance, I guess, off. And Agent 99 applauds them and goes up and shakes the woman's hand. I thought a class act, and it was just really good. And she clearly likes Steve Carell a lot more. You could tell that there's a little bit of romance. They're in the storm drain. Take
Are
that.
they? Okay.
Oh, great.
Take that.
This could be real jarring for the listeners.
Just like that, you're in a storm drain.
After the dance, that's always the go-to. After you dance,
We got to cool off.
yeah, in the storm drain.
I've been telling people to cool off for ages. Hey, cool off, Nemo.
All right, I'll go to the storm drain.
No, she doesn't.
How do we make that into a t-shirt? When you need to cool off, go to the storm drain. It's like some real it shit and not the happy Ninja Turtles you want to hang with in the storm drain.
That's what I thought of too.
There were some rats, not Splinter, but there were some rats.
Master Splinter?
Yes.
I know him well.
But yes.
He's always preferred Cowabunga.
He made it funny. Yeah. Well, the rat will come back later. The rat that was ratting the turd, I believe.
No, the rat that was ratting on the turd.
I noticed Anne Hathaway had, like open shoes and just... There was a way to walk on the concrete, but she is walking just straight through that
She didn't
stream.
give a shit. Yeah.
Also,
She's a professional.
In heels, y'all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that,
All of this stuff.
that poo water is all up on you. You are the poo water now.
It was in his raccoon wounds and everything. Yeah, so they take the storm drain, and where the fuck are they going?
So they're going to go under to get to where I guess.
Yeah, so during the dance scene, they did like an infrared scan of the mansion where they were at.
Okay.
And they found that the computer or whatever, they knew that where they wanted to be was somewhere else.
Sure.
So they found where they wanted to be, and they got there via the storm drain.
Oh,
Okay.
and this was with the help of Dwayne Johnson, because they had to call into control and be like, yo, we got to find another way. And they're like, oh, we have another way, except it won't be what you would like.
That's right.
Exactly.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
You mean drain?
Oh, no. Just my boo.
I'll leave. that. Sorry. Nemo's boo.
Thank you.
That's the shirt we need. Maybe we get like a ladies cut tank top, and it's like, that's my boo, and it's like so imagine a heart, but half the heart is Nemo's face and the other half is the Rock. That's my boo. Rabbit Troop sucks. Boom.
Oh, wow.
He is gonna sue the hell out.
Yeah, that's fine. You're listening to the last episode of Rabbit Troop Sucks, everybody.
Yeah, so then they go into the storm drain, and then she busted out with her explosive dental floss.
Yeah. Oh, don't you have that?
Oh, no, I did not know about it. And
Man.
so she makes a little square and things explode.
Isn't this just so much more fun to watch than serious Anne Hathaway movies? Like
Yes.
these little quirks, these little jokes. I mean, I have come under the concept more and more. I really thought about this when I saw the new Dungeons and Dragons. The new Dungeons and Dragons, the CG, not very good. Some other stuff, like the story is like fun overall, but it's a comedy. And I could forgive everything. And this movie's so much better because of it being a comedy. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I do not like stressful entertainment.
Well, I mean, like, I like Mission Impossible. That's kind of stressful, but it's not stressful, or you don't like it?
No, I love Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible is better CGI than this movie.
Mission Impossible
Or it's just
1
real.
has better
Or it's just real.
CGI.
Or it's just Tom Cruise doing it.
Yeah.
You don't think that some of that stuff is stressful? Like Tom Cruise, like trying to jump out of helicopters or like fighting on airplanes.
Holding
or...
his damn breath for like a minute, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
like, the hell?
I don't know. It's like, I don't mind things that are physically stressful. I don't like entertainment that is emotionally stressful.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that like immediately as an answer. Just this movie is just so much more enhanced because it's just fun.
It is fun.
She uses her dental floss to blow a hole through the ceiling of the storm drain. They climb up, and then they are encountered with a bunch of lasers.
Yeah, and then this is just a rip-off of Entrapment.
And True Lies. There's the homage to True Lies, too, where she rips off her dress.
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to get through this laser grid. You've seen it a million times. They're not really reinventing anything. The quirky fun part is Anne Hathaway does this in more of a sexy way. And she's even saying to Steve Carell, "Are you looking at my butt?" "No." "Yes." "Now I am." And she seems very annoyed and has to get through.
No, I think the great thing is that she's doing all these like gymnastic moves, right? And you're like, oh, and she even says, "You have to follow me exactly." And he was like, "Does it have to be exactly?" He does it.
It does, yeah. And it's kind of sexy.
Yeah, he goes into a handstand, like.
Yeah,
what?
He's doing splits.
Yep.
But then
he turns around.
The turd rat is on his back.
Well, no, he does turn around as Nemo says, and that's what I mean. Like he's doing weird, like gymnastics and acrobatics. He's adding a little more flair to it, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, then there's a rat. There's a rat in your jacket,
and he freaks the fuck out.
And he's still in the middle of the maze. Was when he discovered that there is something inside of him. Yeah.
The rat was inside of him.
There we go.
Yeah.
You don't want to be inside of anyone.
My favorite part of this scene is that the lasers aren't there just to detect someone crossing through.
Right, they'll fuck you up.
They're fuck you up lasers.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting awfully close, like with his head, his eyes.
So by the time he kind of, shuffles his way through, his suit is torn to shreds. He's got a bunch of holes everywhere.
And then the one rat leaves, and then that's it. But
I love the rat. He was so cute.
Yeah, he was cute.
Sure.
Aside from Fang, there wasn't a whole lot of dog in this movie. I think the rat might have been the best actor in this one.
Okay, y'all say that until you go to Seattle and you see giant rats running out of stuff, and I'm like, no.
If those giant rats are in movies, I bet they would.
Yeah, I love animals. So I love animals, and like giant rats and stuff in movies away from me, I love them. I mean, next to me, no, but cute and cuddly animals, yes. I love cats and dogs and
that's fine.
Rats away from me. I love them away from me. Far away.
What y'all have next? Because all of a sudden after that, I was laughing too hard.
They have to go to a bakery.
Is this?
No, not yet.
That's before. No.
Well, I mean, pretty close. So they get through the lasers. They find the computer room. They discover that the purchaser of whatever it was, like the radioactive triggers, like the nuclear triggers, was from a bakery, and that's their next destination.
Yeah.
And then boom, we're up at a bakery. Mm-hmm. I like this scene too, that Steve Carell goes to this bakery and he's supposed to get some kind of information, so he's talking in code. And then the person running the counter is totally hitting on him. Finally saying something like, "Have you ever made love on a flour sack?" Very comfortable. What's going back? He's like, "You do not understand anything I'm saying. I am," and he just spills. He's like, "I am here to see this person directly." And she goes, and then opens like a secret door.
And his fake name that he's using is Mr. Spilkus. Anything
with an isk makes it Russian.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves Mr. Schmilkus. Is that what it was? Schmilkus? Sounds like a substitute science teacher in like 1982. Hello, I'm Mr. Schmilkus. You're going to learn about lasers, but you're never going to touch one. And you're never going to see one. Lasers.
You saw and touched a bunch of lasers earlier. But yeah, so he makes his way into the bakery, and
they're underneath the bakery. He discovers that there's uranium, so he starts dropping these little minelets and running around, and he's communicating to Agent 99 that, oh my gosh, we found the place that we were looking for. this is I'm setting up these little explosives so that we can drop the building and cover up the uranium. She's like, that's a great idea.
Yep. And then because he was like, oh, I found yellow cake. Oh, and I also found real yellow cake.
Are you sure he didn't get captured at this part?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. And this is going to be where he's basically blamed as a double agent. Like, all of this is leading to them thinking that he is guilty.
You're right, because he does have the scene where he's
the element of surprise.
He's trying to escape. Yeah.
You guys got to listen to me. I know what I'm talking about.
Someone's doing something. I don't know.
All the scenes are merging together.
Right.
Now.
He gets captured by the Russian guy that's in every other movie that I don't know whose name is, and the guy from Borat.
Yeah, we kind of learned that the second-rate Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah,
Siegfried.
Siegfried, yeah. He is a low-rent Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, off air, Collin and I were definitely talking about that. That was Colin's assessment, and that is absolutely correct.
No, that's on point.
Okay. And I remember, now I remember the exchange of like, how do I know you're not control? It's like, if I was control, you'd be dead. How do I know you're not control?
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, that really makes sense.
Right, but they put him in a room with the guy from Borat, and we get a couple of the classic Get Smart lines, where he's like, at this very moment, this facility is being surrounded by squadrons of soldiers. And he's like, I don't believe you. He's like, would you believe 4 Boy Scouts in a go-kart? or I don't remember the line.
Chuck Norris and a pea shooter.
Chuck Norris and a BD gun.
Yeah. And then he pulls the element of surprise move, and he tries to throw the phone receiver at his face because it's a corded phone. It doesn't go far enough.
Then nut shot on the corner of the metal table.
Yes.
Lots of nut shots.
Yeah, well, there's a nut shot, and he uses his fucking eye to open the door.
You mean he was slamming the dude's face?
He was slamming the dude's face into the retinal scanner.
It was a narrow escape.
It was so close. Yeah, they were right there.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. But yeah, no, and this is the part where he's on the radio. He was like, I found the yellow cake. I don't know why I said it like that, but. Yeah, the yellow cake, uranium, and he plants bombs around. And this is another moment where Anne Hathaway is like, "Oh, you're actually kind of good at this," because she's like, "You can't plant bombs in here. You're gonna fuck the whole thing up." He's like, "No, I planned them strategically so that it'll just bury the weapons plant." She's like, "Oh, that's a good idea."
And then they escape because they get shot at, and then we see them on the roof with the great Kali.
The big boy is up there.
He's alive.
Steve Carell uses his Jedi Force powers of a psychological suggestion to really calm the situation, where this guy basically picks up an entire industrial air conditioner and is about to smash Steve Carell to shreds or pound him with it. And Anne Hathaway is trapped under a sign, and Steve Carell says, "Hey, I've been listening to your conversations, and I know the troubles you've been having with your wife, and the real problem is your sister-in-law, and you got to get her out of this. But maybe the next time you go on a kill, you bring your wife with. You got to have conversations." And this really speaks to him.
Yeah.
And the guy throws the air conditioner off and just leaves. And then the building's on fire, and it's nice that Steve Carell thinks they're a team now. This guy just, swings away. He's like, I thought that guy was really going to take us. What a douche. And then Anne Hathaway and him also escape from said fire.
They do escape, but now there's a bit of a double cross. So it's misleading. So we see The Rock kind of cleaning up the facility, and he's like, "Yeah, Chief, this is just a bakery. There's loaves of bread everywhere." And he's on the phone to Anne Hathaway, and she's like, "Oh, fuck."
She's like, I didn't see anything firsthand.
Right, like he was the only one that saw this.
Sketchy's going on.
Yeah. So now Control captures Maxwell Smart.
Right. Everyone thinks he is a double agent, that he was misleading them, that he's been working and giving intel to KAOS. Dun, 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 KAOS. I should have a soundboard ready. Colin's right. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Crikey!
If only there was a gong sound.
KAOS!
Gong! And KAOS is spelled with a K.
Did you just force Manborg into this?
Yes.
You son of a bitch.
I appreciate that. That goes out to Jeremy. Every Manborg reference we can make goes out to Jeremy.
I hear that's his favorite movie.
Stop making Manborg happen.
He loves it.
Guys, remember, there is no heaven.
It's all family.
There is for Max.
Yeah.
So now that they are in, so they have captured Steve, and all four of them are in the SUV together. We start to hear them, like, they're telling him, like, okay, you're probably the double agent. He's like, I can't believe you would think that way. And somewhere in that interaction, Dwayne Johnson was all like, oh my God, did you sleep with him? To Anne Hathaway. And then she was like, she didn't say anything, but then he was like, oh yeah, like, I can't believe you would do that after me. It's like, you slept with him? Now I feel sexually intimidated.
I feel sexually threatened.
Yep. It's like,
So that was awesome.
I was like, you should.
Yeah, dude, me too.
Yeah, and we learned before that Anne Hathaway, when she changed her appearance, that she went through like plastic and reconstructive surgery, the reason was she was in a romantic, problematic situation at work. Things got out, and I can't remember her complex situation, but it basically came to, you would either have to quit the job or change the way you look. And she chose to change the way she looks because she loves the job so much. And then we find out it was all because of Agent 23 and now sexually threatened Steve Carell.
She used to look like her mom.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. Yeah.
But she's way hotter now, so it's win-win.
That was actually kind of an emotional moment. I totally wrote that down because it was like...
I think that's when Steve was trying to understand her and get to know her. It's like, so tell me why. And she did the basic, like, oh yeah, just had to. It's like, you said nothing. So let's dig a little bit deeper. He was so being clinical. He was so sweet.
Yeah.
At some point in time, I wrote down that Kevin Nealon was part of Homeland Security in a conference that they're having. He's honestly in it for 30 seconds or less. And that's all of screen time. I think he has one line, maybe two.
Yeah, what? Who was the other person you pointed out? Someone's dad from a TV show in the 80s that only you like?
Oh. That was a great sound.
Okay.
No.
You wanted the gong.
Yeah, well, it's a shit gong.
That was a really bad guy.
When you get a free app, I don't know what to say.
Hey,
That was a strong reaction. I'm sorry.
yeah. When we get that sponsorship money coming in, we got to get you a better app.
Thank God. Okay. Finally, I could afford the $2 app.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
What happens after? Oh, now he's in jail.
Yeah, they put him in jail, and yeah, the Kevin Nealon thing that you're talking about is there's like the circle room. It's like from Dr. Strangelove, and Alan Arkin's trying to convince everyone that there's some shit going down, and Kevin Nealon's like, no, and everyone else is kind of disagreeing as well. But we and the next scene, we're also introduced to the president, who was played by James Caan.
Yeah.
And his Secret Service guard is Deputy Jones from Reno 911.
Yeah. Yeah, basically Steve Carell just breaks out. I mean, I'm going to cut to the chase. He breaks out. He
hears a radio message that tells him what he needs to do.
Very sneaky.
Very sneaky.
By Ryan Seacrest, also important to note. Because he brings it up at the end.
Doesn't he say like America's Sweetheart?
America's Sweetheart. Seacrest, yeah. Yeah, we don't... I mean, I guess when I thought that the message was from like Anne Hathaway or something, but it wasn't. We'll find out who it was from later.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Or now, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. It was the Wrestler.
It was the Wrestler. It was the Great Khali. But yeah, so he escapes. He outsmarts the guards, and he requisitions like an F-16 fighter jet to get him from Washington D.C. to L.A., which is where the rest of the team is, because they realize that that's where the bomb is.
And Alan Arkin is on board with all of this as the chief. He's like, basically, he's like, you're so crazy. Like, no one would come back and tell me all this information unless they were crazy or, they really cared. And I don't think you're crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's worth noting, in the circle room with low-rent Malcolm McDowell, low-rent Malcolm McDowell calls them, and he's like, hey, I'm going to blow some shit up, by the way.
That was a fleeting thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why they go to LA, because he tells them that that's where they're gonna.
It was a fleeting thought even for him.
I thought that was pretty funny. The like, hey, give us billions of dollars, or we're gonna blow up America.
$200 billion.
Yeah, they're like bullshit.
No.
Like KAOS is an ancient organization. You don't have any influence, and they're like, we got some influence.
We got a little
left.
bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
What did they tell Darth Vader? Like in the first Star Wars movie, where wasn't it like you're some weird wizard and like no one subscribes to your old relic of a religion, and then he like chokes that guy.
You can Darth suck my dick.
Yeah, I mean that's why you don't say things like that to people. All of a sudden they start force choking the hell out of you.
Yeah,
and
or nuking LA.
I was gonna say we're like threatened with nuclear bombs. So like whatever. It's like don't threaten people like that.
In hindsight, that was a really stupid part of Star Wars.
Why do you say that?
Well, because they're like, oh, you're old wizard, your religion is dumb. Like, Darth Vader is the leader of all that shit.
Well, I mean, he's clearly your boss,
Right,
so
like-
that's a problem right there.
If my boss had magical powers, I wouldn't be like, hey, boss, you big dipshit.
Well,
Like,
I think
your shit sucks.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Sith lightning me to death?
Well, I think that's the problem
dare you.
with Star Wars, that the A New Hope establishes that some people don't believe this. Like it's been so long,
But like, he's your boss. Like, you know he
that-
can do this.
Well, I think the thing
He's
is,
the only one with a cape.
well, that's true. I think in that movie it's trying to highlight that like not everyone has seen it go down. But then in every other Star Wars movie, it's like, oh yeah, man, people are doing Force all over the place. And those new movies are like, the Force is real? It's like, what? Like, dude.
The new movies are fucking stupid.
Like, come on, everyone's got the Force.
How fucking pissed would you be if you only had rumors of, dude, our boss can like throw people around a room, and then you saw it in person, and you're like, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I wouldn't do? Sass the boss.
Okay, sorry. I know this is my fault. We got to stop talking about this.
Darth Vader, the spy. How are we relating this?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Well, we find out another really quick twist in all of this, that through a series of events that Steve Carell finds out The Rock is the double agent and calls him out on this, and The Rock takes Anne Hathaway as a hostage.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I like that The Rock immediately does this. He's like, well, we don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Pulls out a handgun, takes Anne Hathaway, and is like, I am out. Peace.
This whole scene was super crazy too, because the only reason he called him out was because The Rock had a briefcase.
Yep.
Why did The Rock have a briefcase to begin with?
Yeah,
That is absolutely correct. And
Yeah,
then started
there's
bleeding out.
The bleeding out was a previous injury.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it
if,
was a callback.
if his heart races, he bleeds out a little to a wound on his side, and his heart was racing, and then he had a briefcase. But boom, now The Rock is on the loose, and Steve Carell has to go get him.
Oh, wait. I want to rewind a second because we missed one of my favorite gags of this movie.
Because he's a rolling rock.
Rolling Rock?
He's a rock on the loose.
Oh, yeah.
Museum?
Sorry.
Yeah, so when Steve Carell escapes from prison, which is Control Headquarters, he comes out through the Spy Museum, and he decides to steal the Get Smart car
And the suit.
and the suit
And the shoes.
and the shoe phone.
This is cool.
The shoe phone comes into play later, but he bursts out of the museum driving this Sunbeam Tiger, which immediately runs out of gas.
Why was it gassed up to begin with?
There's just a little bit in the carbs.
Yeah, it was just an incidental amount of gas left over.
Nice.
But so this scene has 3 really dope cars, and I don't know if anyone cares about this, but I do. So he escapes in the Sunbeam Tiger, which runs out of gas. He tries to like requisition a passerby's car, which is an Opel GT, which is another really rare, awesome car. And he doesn't get that one.
Yeah, that's smashed by a truck.
It's
or
smashed by a
bus.
truck, yeah. But then he gets into a sweet blue Carmen Ghia,
Oh, yeah.
and then somehow into a jet.
Did you look these cars up prior?
No.
No, he likes cars.
I'm
Mike.
a nerd.
Yeah.
I'm a car nerd.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I figure, I was like, first off, in DC, I've never seen that many old cars around. I'm like,
Right, yeah.
I've been to DC so many times. I'm like, where are these cars? But then
In DC, they have all rusted to pieces.
so then thinking about like any sort of classic stuff, I figured you'd be the one to point it out.
Yeah.
And appreciate it. They were very pretty. So,
Right?
Yeah.
Opel
all true.
GT is beautiful.
Well, they're able to also get onto, as Mike noted, a jet. The Chief is going to drive this, and Max is going to jump out the side and work his way on a ad banner to get Agent 99 somehow off the highway in a car.
Yeah, Chief is driving like this airplane that has the "Marry Me" banner hanging out the back of it. They're chasing the Rock down.
Is this before or after Alan Arkin's best line in this movie?
What's the line?
Yeah.
You don't know? Holy shit. A swordfish almost went through my head.
Yeah. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? And that was his response.
Yeah. So they steal a car and drive through a golf course, and like the swordfish statue from the second
So that's the CIA car.
Yeah,
he jacked the CIA car, and then he was like, "You better not mess up this car." There better not be any dent on it because there's already beef between them.
It was on the way to getting a jet, but yes, that is a fantastic line.
I mean, it's Alan Arkin's best line. I mean, it's the best line of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
And, this is an Alan Arkin episode, so
it is, yeah.
This has to be brought up.
No, that's good.
That's a great line.
But then through all of these weird mishaps, Max is able to get into the car with Agent 99, where the Rock then proceeds to put everything on cruise control on a highway and then turns around and starts beating the hell out of Max left and right.
Yeah, they're on a highway, then they're on some train tracks. There's a lot happening here.
He's such a good spy that he can put any car on cruise control and beat the shit out of Steve Carell.
They teach you that. Yeah, it's part of training.
Yeah, well.
We didn't see it. There was the paintball stuff. Then afterwards, the cruise control stuff.
That was Steve Carell's pussy training. This is
the
Rock
real deal,
kicking Steve Carell's ass training.
Yeah, and Anne Hathaway is just punt kicking him in the face every which way. It doesn't really seem to be phasing him.
While she's also tied up.
Yes.
Because she is tied up and
wearing heels.
And also in white.
Yeah.
This is the outfit.
She's got an image.
And I guess, so one thing that's worth noting, we mentioned the briefcase. I don't think we mentioned what it was. It is the control for the bomb that is in the concert hall, which is where the president is.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And the president is not having a good time.
No, he's falling asleep. No one wants to see a fucking concert.
It's who I imagine James Caan president being. That seems like an accurate portrayal.
I mean, James Caan's president in this movie is clearly making fun of the second Bush.
True.
And for some reason, The Rock has this briefcase for no fucking reason.
No, it's just like, it's a MacGuffin. Like, there's no real functional reason for him to have this.
It's 2008. It was limited technology.
Yeah.
Only one person could have it.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't, because the whole conceit of the end of this is like, at the concert, the bomb is going to go off during the last note of Ode to Joy.
Oh, no, that's why I'm totally joking. Like, I could literally, it's not explained at all. It's super stupid.
That's what I mean. Like, if the bomb is going to go off at the last note of Ode to Joy, what does The Rock's briefcase do? Nothing.
Well, he actually arms the thing, so until it's armed, the Ode to Joy doesn't do anything. So that's why when everything was like, hey, everything is armed now because I activated it.
Okay.
That's what happened. So he made that call to the white hair guy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so when they do eventually catch him and get the briefcase, it's fucking broken, so they can't turn it off.
Right, and what happens is that banner connects to The Rock's car, and Anne Hathaway and The Rock and Steve Carell are all fighting, and Steve Carell is basically tied into the banner itself on his leg, and he throws Anne Hathaway off to save her, and the car goes zooming basically into like a train area and explodes.
Mm-hmm.
Backing it up a little bit, Paul, you're missing a very important part of this whole scene.
Does it have to do with something with The Rock?
Of course it does. The struggle between Steve and The Rock.
Oh, they kiss.
Oh, yes. Going back to the flashback, Steve Carell does not know how to get out of this. The Rock is going to overpower him, and he remembers back to Anne Hathaway kissing that guy out of the parachute, a drop. And he does this to The Rock, and The Rock's like, and disarms him. He's able to get a couple punches, but, it goes zooming in and is able to save Anne Hathaway. And explodes. The Rock and Steve Carell are dead. Wait a minute. No, they're not. Not in this movie. Only The Rock is dead,
The Rock
which
is
is
dead.
Bananas. I do believe The Rock has in his contract that he does not lose fights later on, this is brought up in the Fast and Furious and the Hobbs and Shaw movie, that he does not lose fights, and I do not think he dies. So unless something has changed, that's going to be the last time we see something like that. But hey, they run to the concert hall, and Steve Carell makes a wild guess that the bomb is under the piano. It turns out to be true, and he is treated like a hero. Hey, everybody, he's back. He's back, baby.
Literally back, because you can see his butthole.
Yeah. That's the analysis we've come to love and respect and enjoy.
And we get a little bit of a quick flash forward. Agent 99 is a item with Max, and don't tell anyone. You're not supposed to know. We all know Max.
Yeah, this was the part that I really disliked with their relationship. Like, if they had played it cool, it would have been fine. But she's like, "Oh, Max, we got a kiss in the office, and here's our dog that I brought to work because I'm an idiot."
Oh.
You mean Fang?
Yeah, and it was just stupid.
And that's pretty much how it ends. They go through the phone booths, and they are walking around, and basically we wind up at the end. I read that there was supposed to be a sequel. They were going to write one, and then it was pushed off. I guess Steve Carell didn't really like the idea of what the script was, and then wrote his own. That's what I read. And I guess it was just pushed back even farther. And Anne Hathaway and Steve Carell's career, and The Rock clearly, and everyone just got more and more famous. And I think the director and Steve Carell both said just, so much time has passed, they couldn't go back. Again, one of the reasons we chose this was Alan Arkin was a big draw, and it's a real shame. I mean, he is in a lot of movies. I know I'm going to do a very poor impression of Alan Arkin, but I'm trying to think of like when he's talking to his daughters in the slum of Beverly Hills. He speaks with his chest. I was like Michael, like he lifts it. I know it's a poor impersonation, but I can literally hear this dude's voice in my head, and it's a real shame. I mean, he was just in a lot of cool films. He seemed like a cool dude picking cool roles. He was fun as the chief in this. I like this. A very different film.
Mm-hmm.
Think of any movie you've seen with the word sunshine in the title.
He
owns it. He owns it, baby. Sunshine Cleaning, Little Miss Sunshine.
Was he in the movie Sunshine?
He was the sunshine.
Was he?
He was metaphorically providing you with his grace. So that's how that movie starts and finishes. And it's the middle, too. As always, if you want to reach out to us, you have some movie ideas, hit us up, email style, rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. You can visit us at Instagram. We have a Facebook page as well. You can write us as noted, or just go directly to our webpage, rabbittroopsucks.com. Feel free to leave us 5 out of 5 star reviews because we love you that much that we want to dedicate stars to you. So don't you want to see those stars? I think I do.
I would like to.
Yay.
Again, thanks for the write-up, Westword. That was awesome. I mean, thank you so much for the interview. Thanks for letting people know. I hope more people are listening and thinking of some movies that they would like to hear us cover. The next movie we're going to review, what do we got on deck, Mike?
Oh, we're doing Judgment Night.
Judgment Night!
Which is a movie where I believe the soundtrack is better than the movie.
Judgment Night! Yeah, it's going to be Judgment Night-rific. I believe Jeremy will be joining us for this, which should be a lot of fun. We got to get out of the inner city of Chicago. We're back in Chicago, my home city. That was what I wanted to note, that I'm originally from Illinois. So we're back. We're back in Chicago with Judgment Night. Just trying to go see a game, and things go wrong. Judgment Nights. Any last thoughts on Get Smart? Liked it, disliked it, wish for a sequel, summer blockbuster, where did it go?
I think this was the beginning of The Rock getting into all of those like undercover CIA stuff, which he also did the movie CIA, and also Red Notice.
Yes.
Just gonna drop all of the.
I kind of like Red Notice.
I did too.
Yeah.
Semi-romance also too, but lots of action.
A romance between him and Ryan Reynolds.
There was also romance with
Nemo and Mike saw the Tooth Fairy together in the theater.
We did see
We
the
sure
Tooth Fairy
did.
together, yeah.
No regrets.
No.
Okay.
The Rock, Billy Crystal. It's a winning team.
I think it was the people. I think it was
Oh my
the
God.
lady laughing behind us that was a bit off. But the
Because she
movie
loved
was-
it so much?
Yeah.
She did. She loved it a lot. But other than that, yeah. So I think this was just the beginning of some greater for
Yeah,
my boo.
you know, as you guys went to go see the Tooth Fairy, Collin and I were hanging out doing super man stuff. We were eating like chicken wings and like talking about like dips and sauces, and we're like screw this, and talking about getting some new tools. I don't know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you guys are
Missing out.
Collin was doing sweet flips off his new pickup truck.
Sorry that you guys can't stand a man with like
push-ups.
tutu. But yeah.
Man stuff. And we were saying it like that too.
Yeah, my friend Falcon rolled up and he had a whole case of Dunkaroos for free, man. Crikey. He's like, do you want to do another flip? Have a bag of Dunkaroos. And I was like, don't just Dunkaroos. Did a couple flips. So, yeah, no, some chicken wings.
This has been educational.
It sounded cool too.
Yeah. And you know what kind of sauce? We didn't use honey. We used barbecue sauce.
For your Dunkaroos?
Like, whatever, dude. Dunking everything.
We didn't just use honey. We mixed it with mustard and made honey mustard.
Oh, shit. You're responsible for this?
Yeah, we invented it.
Oh, man.
It was
And to think we wasted our time going to see that movie.
Who would have thought? My
know.
goodness.
Yeah. Take that and go to the pavilions downtown, chilling out. Why don't you go to the fields? Why don't you learn a lesson or two with Collin and I?
The fields?
Like a baseball field?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like the field of your dreams. The field of dreams.
I was like,
we call it the Duncan Fields.
well, that took a turn.
Wow.
Okay.
That's some real judgment night going on there.
Yeah, Ray Liotta's a big fan.
He loves the honey. That's where he got the honey
The
from,
field
isn't
of
it?
dreams, yeah.
There's a lot going on in this situation.
Okay.
Maybe it's just too late at night.
Yeah, we should have cut this 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, what is it? Oh, we have hour 3 now?
I think we should just start another movie.
Okay.
Let's just roll it to like a double feature right now.
Sure.
Well, before we go again, I just want to say again, Benito, thanks so much for the write-up in the Westword. If anyone has not read it, please check out any of our social medias, and we've posted it. So cool. Recording out of Denver, Colorado. As always, thanks, Denver. Thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Rabbit Troop sucks.
Rabbit Troop sucks.